Good day everyone. Today guys, let's continue discussing about the important things you have to do when you arrive here in the United States. And for today's topic, let's talk about car insurance. And yes, unfortunately, you need to have a car insurance for your car. If you are a new immigrant coming here to the United States and you might get a loan, then definitely you have to get a car insurance. Not just like a regular insurance, you have to get the comprehensive type. Because that's one of the requirements you have to fulfill in order to get a loan here in the United States. So there are a lot of car insurance companies here in the United States. So which are the best? Here are the lists for the popular ones here in the United States. Number one will be Geico, Progressive, State Farm, Liberty Mutual, Allstate, and a lot more. And there are other companies that are locally found in your particular state. Sometimes they are worth getting those kind of insurance from them. But there is a kicker. I'll explain to you later. So the first thing you have to do, guys, is do shopping online. Try to find the best company that suits for you. You can do a quotation. That's what they call if you're doing online. Getting a quotation means getting the value, like how much you have to pay monthly for the specific conditions that you have applied or key in on the system. And at the end, they'll give you the final quotation for that. But for this video, we'll not focus on that. That has more a lot of things to discuss. I'll have to give you the basics first before you have to go or proceed to that part. Number one, here's the kicker. Take note, if you don't have a social security number, means most likely you won't be able to get a US driver's license. Unfortunately, most of the car insurance companies require you to have a DMV license. Most of them. Like for me before, like 3 years ago, when I arrived here, I went to State Farm, then I also went to a local car insurance called Kentucky Farm Bureau, and both of them said no. I'm not able to qualify because I don't have a DMV license. But fortunately, I was able to get a quotation from Geico and from Progressive. But there is a downside to that. Then number two, since I don't have my US driver's license here in the United States, Geico and Progressive gave me a quotation. And the quotation was super duper expensive. It was $450. I think Progressive gave me like $470 per month. So for that rate, it is super duper expensive. Normally, it ranges around from $100 plus, not like $300, $400. So that was super duper expensive. But this is just temporary. When finally I was able to get my US driver's license, I shifted to a different insurance company and they quoted me $150 per month. So that is much cheaper. Then when I quoted with the same company with Geico, they offered me $250 per month. So it was still more expensive. So I went to the local car insurance, which they quoted me $150 with Kentucky Farm Bureau. $150 is still expensive, definitely. Most likely you'll try to get your car insurance less than like 120 or 130. That's usually the normal range that I see everywhere. But for me, being a new driver here in the United States, I don't have a record, so they quoted me $150. But now it's down to like $120 or $115 per month. So if you compare $150 versus $450, it's like a $300 difference. You can definitely buy a cell phone with that. So not having a license will really make you pay more. I'm sure it really hurts to know this fact, but don't worry, it is just temporary. Because once you have your DMV license, then everything will be like more affordable for you. And you don't have to worry about contracts and all those things because you can cancel your car insurance anytime. Yep, anytime. It normally just takes a phone call and you're all good. Let's use an example. You got your car on November 1, 2022 and you get a car insurance with that on the same day. Then after 2 weeks, you were able to finally get a test and pass the driving test. Once you receive your DMV license on that particular day, try to call your car insurance and ask them if they can do or like a revision for your quotation for your car insurance. Sometimes they might be able to lower it down. Like for me, after I was able to get my license, I told them, I sent all the pictures and they gave me another quotation. Unfortunately, it was still expensive. They were charging me $250 per month after I have my DMV license. So for me, knowing that I did my research before, I was able to check the regular prices like most of my colleagues are getting. So I did not continue with them. So what I did is I went to local car insurance, Kentucky Farm Bureau, and asked them for a quotation. And they gave me $150 per month. So after knowing that, I filled in the papers and documents and signed up with them. But I wanted to start the car insurance after midnight on that day. It's because you still have your car insurance running with Geico, and normally they run 24 hours. So after getting the car insurance with them, I called Geico and told them that I don't want their service anymore, that I want to cut it at midnight. Because after midnight, my new insurance will be kicking in. So there won't be any lapse of a gap of not having car insurance. So I won't be violating any rules for getting the car loan. So my best tip for you guys here is try to shop around. Check all the car insurance companies and ask for a quotation and try to compare. Sometimes you might have the same conditions for car insurance with different prices. And sometimes, like on my case, it was really extremely different. Shop around and find the cheapest one. So for the billing charges with Geico, they weren't able to charge me for the whole entire month. They only charged me I think 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken. So it's still $225 for the 2 weeks period. So it's more expensive versus the 1 month with Kentucky Farm Bureau. That's the price you have to pay when you arrive here in the United States, and you really have to go to different kind of learning experience. And here are a few more extra tips in order for you to be able to save more. Number 1, bundling. Make sure to bundle up with the same company when getting your car insurance. For example, get a home insurance or a renter's insurance on the same company with them. Usually they will charge less. I think it ends up just paying for $5 for your renter's insurance, or $5 to $10, which is more effective. So they give this kind of discounts if you bundle up your programs with them. Do you need a renter's insurance? Most of the landlords or the companies or where you're renting, they would require you to have one. So it's best to have one also. And for the sake of peace of mind, it's best that you get one. And for one of my colleagues here before, he got a car insurance and his house was accidentally got flooded because of a super stormy rain. So it ended up him getting to be paid $50,000 for that. So just for paying $5 per month, it really gives you that quite of assurance that you will be safe just in case something happens to your house. Usually the car insurance and other kind of insurance sometimes differs depending on the state where you're living in. And for the specific location you are, particular for renter's insurance, if you're staying in a flood prone area, then you might have to pay more. So that's one of the things you have to consider as well. Then another saving tip for you guys is to get it pay it full for 6 months or 1 year. Sometimes they give these promotions or these conditions. You can pay that for the entire 6 to 12 months. That will be cheaper for you, especially if they're giving out discounts for that. And normally they do. The next tip is to pay it through autopay, automatic payment getting through your debit card or your checking account or your savings account. So for most of the car companies, they do provide a discount for this, maybe $5 per month. So still not bad, better than nothing. And it gives you a peace of mind that you don't have to pay or don't have to do anything worrying about paying late payments and affecting your credit score. So it's best to do it just autopay. Then another tip for you guys, if you've been here for quite some time, try to shift to different car insurance companies if you can. Especially if they're offering you a lower rate, then try to move into that new company. That will definitely make it cheaper. And don't worry, you will receive a lot of spam mails in your mailbox about car insurance promotions. I do get a lot from Progressive, from Liberty Mutual, even from Geico again. I'm getting a new quotation from them. So you can get those, especially if they're offering a lower rate. Just try to explore and check them out. Then you also include your other half in that car insurance companies, putting her name on that list. So whenever she's driving or your another partner is driving, then they can have a list for that. And here are the few things you have to know. Normally, if you get a car insurance, either you have a proof via a digital proof with your cell phone, or sometimes they send it to your mail. So you have to keep that on your car at all times, especially if you're driving, or have it ready just in case the police ask for that. And yes, they did. The first time I was caught in South Carolina, I have to surrender those details or give him the paper for that car insurance. So you have to have those. Okay, take note, make sure to bring the latest ones, particularly if you're getting a paper copies. So make sure that you put the latest copy in your car. Different cars or different models or even the different cars on the same brand, they might have a different car insurance rate. Yep, they really vary from model to model. It is not uniform. So they have these specific conditions in order for them to give you a particular rate. And the rate is not solely based on the car that you have. Most of the time, they have to vary this on your workplace as well, the distance in particularly. If you're working in a place like takes like 3 minutes to go to work, then you might have to pay less for your car insurance. But if you're staying like maybe like an hour or 2 hours away from your workplace, then you have to pay more. Because the logic to that, you will be on the road more. So meaning more time you're on the road, more risky or more problems that may arise. So insurance companies may charge you for that. I remember before, I think I was paying like $150 for my Nissan Versa 2019, and my colleague was paying like $145 for Ford Fiesta. So like I said, there is a difference for that. Then, is car insurance more expensive for brand new cars or more expensive for the second-hand cars? Generally, it is more expensive for brand new cars. But typically, the difference may be like just like $5–10 per month. Not that much. So it's not really that significant. Then for the tips for those getting a second-hand car, if you just got a car like maybe like $5,000 or $6,000 worth of car, then there's no point of you like getting the maximum value for your conditions for your car insurance. Yep, you don't have to do those things because if the car value is not that much, then you really don't have to pay for great car insurance. You basically don't want to pay a lot of insurance for something that's not really that valuable. So you might have to tweak those conditions, which of course I will explain on the next video. Then next, can you get a same car insurance policy for your unrelated roommate? And based on my research and when I asked my insurance companies before, they said no. You have to be staying in the same residence. That's number one. And number two, you have to be blood related. So you cannot have the same car insurance policy with your newfound friend here in the United States or your AFAM boyfriend or girlfriend here in the US. So you have to get a separate one. Unless, I saw this in my research, unless your roommate also owns the same vehicle, meaning the vehicle that you have is owned by the two of you. So you can do that if that's the case. But most likely, you might not do that, right? Then, on the part 2 of this video, we'll be discussing more about the details of getting an insurance. I will show you an actual way of how to apply for a car insurance. Then I will explain in details on what these things mean. And I think that will be best because you have more visual aids. So definitely on the next video, we'll be discussing about the more saving tips on how to save up in choosing a proper conditions. Yes, you need to choose a condition for your car insurance policy. You have to decide and you have to do a research on it in order for you to get a better deal. It's kind of similar with the health insurance. So you have to decide which particular plan that you want to impose on your car insurance policy. Wherein we'll definitely discuss on the next video. So I think that's it for the topic. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you did, please click the like button and subscribe button and please share to your friends. Again, I'm Nurse Juan de la Cruz, your OFW nurse. Thank you for watching. God bless. Bye-bye. Stay safe and welcome to the US. Bye-bye.